Hey everybody, it's Sean Henricksen here at the Sean Henricksen Law Firm. We help people avoid the devastating consequences of criminal charges, and today we're going to be talking about some of those devastating consequences. We're going to be talking about what are some of the consequences if you are found to have committed an act of family violence. A lot of assault cases that I handle deal with family violence. And if the judge finds that there was family violence that occurred in a case, even if that was as a result of a plea, then the judge will enter what's called an affirmative finding of family violence. And that's a very important thing because it has some very severe consequences that you should be aware of if you're being charged with any sort of family violence case. First of all, you will never be able to have your record cleaned up later on. A lot of cases, especially if you don't have any sort of criminal history before this, you may be offered deferred adjudication as part of a plea agreement. And in most cases, when you complete deferred adjudication, the case gets dismissed and you can have your record cleaned up. In a family violence case, though, you are not eligible to have your record sealed, and so this will follow you around for the rest of your life if it's found that you committed an act of family violence. Another consequence of that affirmative finding of family violence is that you will never be able to own a firearm again legally. So once there's that affirmative finding of family violence, there is both state law and federal law that prevents you from owning a firearm or ammunition or any sort of accessories or anything like that. For some people, that's a big thing. For some people, it doesn't really matter, but it is a consequence that you should be aware of before accepting any sort of agreement on a family violence case. Third, it could affect custody of your children. So if you go through any sort of custody dispute or anything like that with your children's mother or father, then you won't be able to be the managing conservator, which means that essentially you won't be the person with the main custody of your children. You can still have custody of your children, you'll still get visitation and everything else, but you won't be the one with the main custody. Fourth, if there is that affirmative finding of family violence, then any future charges could be enhanced to a felony. So once again, even if there's not actually a conviction in the case, even deferred adjudication can be used to enhance a later family violence charge up to a felony. And so this is something that you should be aware of because it's a way that the state can turn a misdemeanor case up to a felony case. Felony cases also obviously have the higher punishment range, but sometimes just the fact that they're a felony can make them more complex cases and harder to defend against. If you're being charged with an assault case, it's important, especially if it's a family violence case, it's important that you talk to an attorney as quickly as possible. If you have any questions about anything in this video, feel free to give me a call, 210-900-2806, or there's a link in the notes below, and you can click on that and you can schedule a consultation with me. Have a great day.